Let's cross to Dublin city centre and correspondent Hervé Amoric. Hervé, explain to us this 5-kilometre rule.
Well, the most drastic measures in Ireland are people are getting ready for that. Restaurants are closing down here in the financial centre. People are getting ready, in fact, not to walk beyond the 5-kilometre zone, except, of course, if you have a valid reason. If you have a valid reason, you can go to school, for example, and that's the main difference with the lockdown in the spring. People are allowed to walk within or drive within the 5-kilometre zone, and exceptionally with a valid reason across. For example, if you're going to school in the city centre and it's further than 5 kilometres roll, you're entitled to continue to go to school, of course, because the Taoiseach Prime Minister made a point that schools will remain open, as well as manufacturing industries and the building industry. But for everybody else, there is no socializing at all for the next 2 weeks, whether you are in the 5-kilometre zone of your home or not. There will be no socializing at all.
And we heard the concern of people in that report we just played. What have people been telling you, Hervé?
That they are really getting seriously annoyed. They are quite alarmed, and they understand, of course, why the Prime Minister decided that he had to act. But he seemed to have changed his mind, because 2 weeks ago he was told by the medical officers and the scientists advising his government that it was time to have some kind of a lockdown, because the COVID cases were going to an alarming rate. But at that time, the Prime Minister decided not to follow the advice of his advisors. And 2 weeks later, because the our case, the famous reproductive number of people infected by one single individual is getting to over 1.6. That means that one person is infecting 1.6 others. Well, the Prime Minister decided it was time to act. So people are, seem to be confused about this change of policy. But also, in a country of 5 million people, this lockdown is going to cost 200,000 jobs. That's a lot of jobs, and it's going to be, and the bill is going to be over 30 billion euros, and that's a lot for a country this size.
And just briefly contrast that with what the situation is right now north of the border in Northern Ireland.
Yes, about 100 miles north on the M1 motorway, where in fact there were Garda police checkpoints already today, and that's what the Prime Minister also said. There will be checkpoints by the police to make sure that people respect the rules of this new lockdown. But of course, if you live north of the borders, shops will remain open. While here, only shops like food shops will be open. While in the north of the border, you can go to a shopping centre, for example, that will remain open. Of course, bars, restaurants will be closed indoors over there too. But there is a different system on the island of Ireland, and as well, people living close to the border find this is just not, they don't like the fact that there are two rules. While this island is supposed to have a border that is not a border, a seamless border.